What's up everyone? Welcome to another strategy video here at Gaming After Hours. I'm Nico, and today I want to show you a strategy for quickly defeating the Demi-fiend in Shin Megami Tensei V. The strategy can be done to defeat the Demi-fiend on normal and hard mode, but it requires a New Game Plus save file since one of the demons we will be using can only be unlocked and obtained after completing the game at least once. Let's go ahead and jump straight into the battle, that way we can see the strategy in action, and after we'll go over the builds of the demons used to accomplish this task. Now, without further ado, let's take down the Demi-fiend.
Your turn, go!
Before we start the team discussion, I want to mention that I will include all of the information down below about which essences contain which skills, and also a link to a website where you can easily search for all of this data. Now let's get started. Our first demon is Nuwa, who is used for her unique 4-skill Sacrifice of Clay. This skill hits all targets with force damage and lowers the enemy's attack and defense both one stage, so this is going to be our means of debuffing the Demi-fiend. Sacrifice of Clay also hits the opposing Girimekhala for weakness, but in order to take advantage of this and generate press turns, we need Nuwa to have Safeguard since the enemy Cuckoo Lane nullifies force damage. Repel Phys is the other necessary defensive skill, which will keep Nuwa alive through the first Javelin Rain attack from the Demi-fiend, and while Repel Phys is the bigger flex, it comes at the cost of having to farm it from Fallen Abdiel's essence, which can be a pain because her default fusion level is already very high. Null Phys from Kanzu-Ra or Ongyoki's essence can also be used here. High Force Plemora and Force Plemora are both used to maximize damage from Sacrifice of Clay, And these skills can be obtained from Nuwa or Raphael's essence and from Jatayu and Kukulane's essence, respectively. Finally, Akashic Arts is the chosen Phys skill to hit Girimekhala for her self-KO, but any other sufficiently powerful Phys skill can also be used. This leaves 2 slots open for things that aren't necessary, so I just kept on Drain Fire and Killing Wind from my previous build. Mithras is a purely sacrificial demon here, and his purpose is to survive the first Javelin Rain attack from the Demi-fiend, and then self-KO to build the Magatsuhi gauge without losing a press turn by hitting Girimekhala with a Phys attack. To this end, we have the skills Null Phys, Akashic Arts, and Safeguard. Other skills are left over from a previous build, and any demon that meets these 3 skill requirements can be used in his place, but I went with Mithras because I like his design and because he looks like he is about to make a sacrifice as it is. The Nahobino is obviously our main attacker here, and Figment Slash is the primary attack because although it only has a 50% accuracy, it has a 100% crit rate and high base damage. High Phys Plemora further boosts that damage, while Phys Plemora and Critical Zealot, both of which can be obtained from Ganesha's essence in Cadaver's Hollow, further increase physical damage and also increase critical damage at the cost of reducing regular damage. Dragon Eye increases accuracy and can be obtained from Yamato-no-Orochi's essence in Cadaver's Hollow as well, and Endure, which is found on Addis's essence, can also be purchased in Cadaver's Hollow. Again, Null Phys or better is required for the Demi-fiend's first round of attacks, and as you can see, I went with a physical build, but do not have an overly jacked Nahobino, with a strength at a humble 120. We can also see the 2 Magatsuhi skills we will use here, the Vile's Impaler's Glory and the Beast's Omagatoki Adversity. Girimekhala has much of the same setup. Figment Slash, High Phys Plemora, Critical Zealot, Abyssal Mask, and Endure, but ours will also be used to buff the party with Luster Candy from Cleopatra, Lakshmi, or Demeter to name a few. We also need Impaler's Animus from Melchizedek, Fuki, or Zeus, among others, to add Pierce and a damage multiplier to Figment Slash. Girimekhala is also great because it naturally repels physical, freeing up a skill slot, and the Vile Race allows the Nahobino to use Impaler's Glory, eliminating the Nahobino's need to have Impaler's Animus and spend a turn using it. Also, note, I used about 10 to 15 strength incenses to boost Girimekhala's strength to this level. Finally, Loup-garou is our last attacker and has skills that have been seen before on other demons in this setup. Figment Slash, Impaler's Animus, High Phys Plemora, Critical Zealot, Dragon Eye, Repel Phys, and Endure. Loup-garou brings the unique Beast Race skill, Omagatoki Adversity, which adds a damage multiplier based on the fraction of remaining HP, and this is what allows us to deal such massive damage with such low HP. Also, I did use a ton of strength incenses on this guy to boost his strength, though I think if you make a pure strength Nahobino build, you might be able to hit numbers high enough to mitigate the need to invest heavily into the strength of the other 2 primary attacking demons in your setup. That about wraps it up for the builds of our demons, though I did want to give a couple of more tips and suggestions. In order to get your demons to low HP, I like to use the physical skills on a Rangda near the Asakusa Leyline Fountain Taito, since Rangda repels Phys. You can also use a Force Dampener, which can help eliminate the threat of her killing you with her Force attacks while you are at low HP. You can also make sure that if you have learned the Miracle Magatsuhi Wellspring, that the Magatsuhi gauge is not full or going to be full when a turn starts while you're doing this, or else you will recover some HP at the beginning of the turn and you will have to do another battle or a few more turns in order to get your HP as low as possible. Also, because my Nahobino and other demons aren't mad jacked in strength, sometimes an additional Figment Slash from Loup-garou is required for the kill, but another attack, if it lands, should do enough damage even though the Demi-fiend does resist Phys, and we don't have Impaler's Animus up, and we will not be piercing. Finally, I highly recommend the Mitama Dance of Experience and Dance of Wealth DLC, since it makes purchasing demons and farming Grimoire, and thus essences from leveling up, significantly easier, and it greatly decreases the amount of time it takes to build the required team. All right, that about wraps it up. Don't forget to like, subscribe, smash that bell for notifications, share your own builds and optimizations down below, and I will see you next time here on Gaming After Hours.